Okay, this is the Kubernetes cluster, SIG cluster lifecycle meeting for cluster API provider AWS of April 19th, 2021. Please be aware that we're abiding by the CNCF code of conduct. Generally, it's be excellent to each other. So haven't got much on the agenda so far. So if you've got any items, please make sure you put them in. First PSA, I think we've got is cluster API v065 was released last week, beginning of last week. The main inclusion here is the support for multi-tenancy. So rather than you having to create multiple instances of the controller that watch different namespaces to be able to provision into different accounts, and you have to use something like KeyAM or IRSA, it's now supported directly within Cluster API. So there's some new CRD resources that allow you to define IAM roles, different sets of access keys and secret keys. They're they're global scoped resources, and you can scope them to namespaces. So the idea is you as an admin can set up the AWS accounts and you can delegate access to those to different namespaces. So check it out. As a follow-up, there's going to be some changes to cluster cuttle to support moving those resources if you're doing a pivot. So give it a go, basically. Follow-up to that is we are now working on V1 Alpha 4. So the next release we're working towards is V07, which is the V1 Alpha 4 release. So in terms of how that works, so I think we're intending only to do bug fixes only for V065 and for V06X. And I think ones that are under discussion is fixing machine pools and one we just found today with the EKS controller RBAC for multi-tenancy. There might be some other things that appear as we go along, but so far, any new features will only go in V070, and the target date for that will be July something. So to tie up with Cluster API core. So I think Cluster API is charging June, July. So that's when we'll do our V070. I hope that's okay with everyone. Has anyone got any questions around that? Richard?
Did you say that the cluster cuttle move doesn't move the multi-tenancy CRDs, or
it doesn't remove global resources, I think, until V1 Alpha 4.
Okay.
Yes, but I might be wrong on that actually. So it might already be in.
Cool. I'll give it a go tomorrow.
And I think the last release is the default branch is now main. I put instructions in the Slack channel about how to rename your local branch. So that's the work that's come out of the naming working group for Kubernetes around removing offensive language from around Kubernetes. This is one of the things we needed to do. So we've now done that. We won't be able to update the website at the moment until the GitHub owners change some settings in Netlify that we don't have access to. So that's an open issue. So we'll take PRs for documentation, but they won't go live for a little while until that work is done. So I'll chase that up. Okay, so that's PSAs over. Just check if any action items that we had didn't. I don't see any massively outstanding action items there. So anything people want to discuss agenda-wise? Daniel.
Richard, you have your hand up. I don't know if you want to. Is that did you did you mean to go, or did you?
No, I didn't know. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I've been working on the machine pools token refresh. I just wanted to say thank you to Sedef and Nadir for helping me out on Slack, and Richard for you gave some input on the issue. I should have, I've got a draft PR, but I should have tests and anyway, more an actual PR hopefully by the end of today. One question that I had is kind of a separate issue. The way that the token refresh originally was implemented was in the machine pool controller. Actually, I'm sorry. I think it's the machine. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. The machine pool controller. The kubeadm config that contains the Bootstrap token is refreshed when the machine pool is scaled up or down, and that's great. That's going to so we can fix the token refresh for our launch template, and so that will work when we do when someone scales a machine pool up or down. However, in the case where you have an instance, let's say terminated out of band, or maybe by EC2 itself, I'm wondering. I suppose the machine pool controller. Yeah, actually, I don't know. I don't know exactly what will happen there. Will that trigger a reconcile? Will the kubeadm config get updated?
Don't think so. I'm not sure if we expect it to either. So I'm not, maybe we don't need to worry about that. I don't know what the guarantees we've made around when the token should be refreshed, other than it should be working. It's probably something we should consider, because maybe you've pulled it out for a security reason. But I'm going to guess that behavior is undefined.
Okay. I mean, I think that's right. So as an end user, right, one of the benefits maybe that you expect of, let's say, auto scaling groups is sort of automated node remediation or replacement. Of course, that also exists in sort of cluster API proper. So maybe that's the response is to rely on that.
But that's only for machine deployment. So I think for machine pool, we expect remediation to be done by AWS. So it's kind of out of cluster API's hands at that stage. So I mean, that kind of ties in with the fact that Azure discovered that the machine pool API isn't fit for purpose in its current form, because we need to control stuff around like draining, etc. So I think that's V1 Alpha 4, but I think remediation is a function of the cloud provider more than it is cluster API when you're using machine pools.
So is that under, I guess, is that under discussion anywhere? Like the how to enable? I mean, I know there's a node attestation proposal. So maybe tokens are maybe there's a way around this that doesn't require sort of updating the token. Maybe that's the future direction. But for now, is that something that we would want to provide a way for the token to be refreshed when an EC2 instance is created, not as a result of like a manual scale, or just not as a result of a machine pool scaling, but just as something that EC2 does.
No, I don't think so, because that token is reusable. So it's just going to be used. So the token, it can be replayed, which is one of the issues with kubeadm in general, that the token is reusable unless it's expired. So I think it's okay. It continues functioning normally. New instances join because they can use the same token to rejoin, which is why it's not considered part of the machine pool implementation that you need to do anything with the token when someone gets deleted out of band. So one of the things with the node attestation is that we get rid of like token reuse in favor of a more stronger assertion of identity of the node based on tags and provable identity through the AWS chain of trust. So I would say we probably don't need to worry about it.
Okay, so for now, it's just we're looking at it as a known issue, and node attestation is the way to provide, because right now, right, if the token's expired and you have, let's say, some, I don't know, EC2, instance fails and is replaced, then if that token is expired, the token won't get refreshed. That instance won't be able to join the cluster, right?
Is it not getting refreshed by the machine pool controller every 15 minutes anyway? I thought that was the other refresh.
Okay.
That was happening.
If that's true, then yeah, that's sort of the question. I wasn't sure. Is that's what's happening?
Yeah, I think so. So it's getting refreshed by, I think it's actually the kubeadm config controller is refreshing the token as it hits expire, like percentage of its expiry time, and then that updates the secret.
Yes. Okay. So as soon as we're updating the launch template version or creating a new version with the token, we should be in good shape.
Yep.
Okay. Modulo, some you got to wait for that to happen. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Excellent. Thank you.
Richard?
Yeah, Daniel reminded me of something. So we working with a customer who is using the machine pools. So they've basically raised the issue. I know they shouldn't be doing this, but they have a managed machine pool or a machine pool with a min-max size set. So the autoscale group is created. So that someone went in and obviously manually edited the max size on the ASG directly. The controller basically doesn't reconcile that back down to what the min and max is declared as. So I just want to check that the expected behavior is bringing that back down. I think it should bring it back down to what is declared before I actually go and make the change. But yeah, just thought I'd check.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Oh, sorry, I should raise my hand. I think that's reasonable. We have similar issues in CatRe, and I think across everything, like we don't document what gets overridden, what doesn't. So I think one of the steps for V1 Alpha 4 is that we should be a bit more explicit and document like what we reconcile backwards. So I'll create an issue for that.
There is one actually.
I think I'll create an issue in general, like around other things where we don't.
Cool, yeah. There is some weird logic in there that says, look at the controller. It says if actually on the machine pool, not on the AWS version, replicas is set, and then we have min and max set on the AWS machine pools. Then there's this whole bunch of other logic. So it's just a bit of a mess, I think, to be honest. Cool. I'll work on that issue for V1 Alpha 4 then.
Is there anything else? Also, if anyone who's new and wants to introduce themselves, please do so. Just use the raise hand function. And just enjoying unmute.
I'll go. Hi, everyone. Dimitri Koshkin. I work with Daniel at Day2IQ. So I recently started working on the cluster API Kappa world. So I'm still super new to it, but excited hopefully to start contributing soon.
Great, thanks. And Dwayne, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey guys, I'm Dwayne Gant. I just joined VMware here February 1st. So I'm being introduced to the product line. I'm watching it grow. It's pretty interesting. I was triply excited to see this tool, this cluster API. I'm really excited to touch it and see see what it can do. So
Thank you, and welcome, both of you.
thanks.
All right. Anything else, or we can call it a day? All right. I think that's it. Dimitri, have you got anything else, or you still just got your hand raised from earlier? All right, cool. So yeah, see you all in 2 weeks then. Have a good rest of the week.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks. Take care.